Salutare! Sunt Mariana de la Oratorica și te invit să studiezi împreună cu mine limba engleză, chiar din țara în care aceasta își are originile, England. Dragi prieteni, ne-au bucurat enorm întrebările primite de la voi pe Instagram cu privire la viața și cultura în Marea Britanie. Așa că astăzi a venit ziua să aflăm răspunsurile la aceste întrebări. Apropo, nu ezitați să ne urmăriți pe Instagram, acolo ne puteți adresa întrebări și sugestii. Vă las linkul în descrierea acestui video. Okay, so let's get started. What do you love most about London?
The sunset on the river.
Food. It's good food. Yeah, you can get every cuisine here.
Probably the culture. Like I live kind of northwest way, and Camden is just full of culture. Everybody can meet, especially here as well. Gabriel's Wharf, you kind of just get to meet anybody and everybody, and you just see kind of a vast amount of different types of people. But it seems like they locate all in the one place, and they can share that kind of love and kind of affection towards the place.
Probably the multiculturalism. It's very diverse, and you can get anywhere within like half an hour, and it's just very cool.
Yeah, I live in like kind of South London, and like there's like she said, there's like so many different kinds of people everywhere. Yeah.
It's so big. It's the biggest city in the UK, there's so much to do.
Yeah, I'm originally from a farm, so it's really good to have lots of things going on.
And there's loads of people here, like the diversity is better than in any other city in the UK, so
yeah.
What can you see in London in one day?
Oh, you could see so much in one day. The transport network is so amazing that you can get from one place to the other so easily. There's Uber boats in London, so you can go and see the Thames in like you can go through the Thames in like 5 minutes. You can see the London Eye, Big Ben, everything. So you've got the best transport network in the world here. So I think you could see most things that are here in one day.
All of the landmarks and historical buildings, they're all really conveniently placed, so you can pretty much get to all of them in one day.
Different, well, actually no, I'm going to say colourful. Yeah, different's really subjective, but I was going to say colourful. It's not black and white anywhere.
Oh wow, so much. South Bank, where we are right now, is great. There's loads of buskers. There's lots of things going on.
good vibes, good food, good drink. You can go like into the centre of the city in the financial district, or you can go to the parks. Like it has everything, like from one end to another. That makes sense.
However, I wouldn't say going to the financial district.
It's not a
It's the number one thing to do in London.
But you know the buildings are like Shard, Gherkin. It's got the landmarks, Big Ben, as well as the like parks.
So many things. Literally like all aspects of culture. Like you can get food, you can get like Thai food, and then go and look at like stolen artifacts in the British Museum from loads of different countries. Like it's just so cool. It's yeah. Especially like in South Kensington, there's like the Science Museum, the Natural History Museum, and the V&A Museum. Like within like 5 minutes of each other. It's so cool.
Yeah, lovely.
Do you want to go?
Alright. Well, yeah, like we've just been down by the Tate, and so you can go and see like art stuff. You can go like there's tunnels down there, and like you can like there's just everything. Yeah.
British humor is a bit of a mystery for foreigners. Can you explain it a little bit?
Sarcastic, self-degrading.
Borderline offensive.
Yeah. It's a bit problematic in the past. I think we've learned a bit. Very different to American humor. I don't really know how to describe it.
Very deadpan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Sarcasm is like the root of British humor.
Well, the sarcasm, right? Like quite blunt.
And like quite like dark and blunt. Yeah. It's just like
Maybe a bit sinister, self-deprecating.
Yeah. And like extra polite, like that's awkward.
Yeah.
I can do it in one word, and I'd say it would probably be dry. So as long as it's dry, then you're okay.
Yeah.
But dry and blunt, yeah.
There's a lot of different types of humour from like Britain. You can get the really dark sense of humour where people kind of say really kind of un-PC stuff and we try to laugh it off, but there's also that kind of light humour as well.
I don't know, I think there's a stereotype where British people do jokes where they insult each other, like laddish jokes. Yeah, I don't know, I don't do those type of jokes, but I think yeah, that's a stereotype, I guess.
Is it true that British people don't really like Americans?
We're very different cultures, right? You know, I work a lot with American people at work, and their energy is very different. I actually personally quite like it. They're very dynamic.
I like
They
it
speak
too.
really
I like it
fast,
too.
and I love it.
The enthusiasm is something that, when you think about the humour, is a bit different to British.
Yeah.
But love Americans, no hate there.
Yeah, definitely no hate there. All the Americans I work with, I love you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just quite different. Maybe we're humble and self-deprecating, now we were saying, and they bring a different energy. But
I mean, their culture is pretty much a part of our culture as well, because I mean, we watch a lot of their television, so that's definitely a myth, I think.
No, that's not true. I've never heard that before. American culture and British culture, they kind of share some kind of aspects, kind of the clothing scene and things like that, but I don't hate any American culture. I have friends from America, so definitely not.
British people and American people get along. I like American people in general, they're very friendly.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, very talkative. And we're not like that in London, so I appreciate it.
Is it true that British people don't like Americans?
Yeah. Yeah, straight up. Yeah. I think it's like a thing for British people to just mock Americans constantly, and that's part of like the British humour thing. It's because Britain has a very tribal aspect to it, and then Americans try and mock British people, and it's like, no.
Yeah, American people, they do get mocked quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, that's all there is to it.
How do you feel about the royal family?
I mean, personally, kind of apathy. I don't feel anything about it. I feel like the fixation on the royal family is very odd, and it stems from the monarchy as being the highest power in Britain, and now it's just become a media a thing that the media focuses on. I guess for tourism, or maybe something. I don't know. I was never like obsessed with the royal family. I know people who are like very fixated on the like day-to-day life of them, and it's like, why would you do this? But I guess it's like all celebrity culture, but in a way. But I don't know, it's just very odd.
My mother is an immigrant and she loves the royal family. I think it's like the concept of monarchy is very corrupt, and
The monarchy should be abolished, there's my opinion. There we go.
yeah, I would agree with that, especially in light of recent events and some of the...
Yeah, with Meghan and Harry.
Yeah.
My mum will not be happy with that, but
whatever.
Do I get shot if I'm honest? I don't care for them, basically. I don't care for them.
Yeah, I'm also very indifferent about it.
Well, the royal family goes back, well, over 1,000 years, so it's something that's always going to be there. So taking that away, it's just going to be taking away like a big thread of our culture. And obviously with Prince Philip dying, it is, well, then again, I don't really follow the royal family that much, but it is kind of sad. It's like losing that great-grandfather you haven't seen for years and years.
As much as I respect their kind of the tourist attractions that they bring and the kind of services that they do, there needs to be some work there with the racism.
How would you describe Londoners nowadays?
Oh, I don't know. There you can get a lot of changing ones. Like overall, very rude, but like it depends on the situation. Like on public transport, no one talks to each other. You're just sitting there, like looking at your phone. It's just very nice. It really depends on where you are as well in London.
yeah, kind of going on from where you are. Like if you're in some kind of really rich area, then you get a completely different kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you're generally the further out you go, kind of the more hostile people are.
How would I describe Londoners? Busy and where they want to be. So there's never anybody that doesn't want to be somewhere. they're always on the walk, and they're kind of like they're there for a purpose. It's not just there for kind of a jolly. It depends where you are as well, location-wise. Like in West Hampstead, you get to see where I'm located. You get to see many walks of people.
Very polite, like very polite. Like if they won't really get involved in anything unless you kind of force them to. They're quite laid back. Now that COVID's kind of over, you can see like a change in people. Before, like everyone was kind of rushing around, but people are taking their time now to like soak up the world. So, yeah.
Maybe I'm a Londoner now. I've moved here for 4 months now, so I'm a new Londoner. But cool. You've lived here longer.
Yeah, about a year and a half. We still, like, on the tube, we like stare at our phones. We don't talk to each other. I don't think we're worse than like New Yorkers say. We're probably a bit better than that, but you know, maybe in COVID times we're slightly better. Like there's a slightly more community feel, but everyone's kind of, you know, doing their own thing. Yeah, fairly social, but keep themselves, I think.
Is it true that British people like to queue?
We naturally form ourselves into one. I don't know if we like it, but we'd prefer there to be some orderly system, some sort of system.
Yeah, I think queues are sensible, logical, which definitely fits with my way of thinking. Right now, looking at the queues for some of the bars and pubs, I hate queuing. I can't be bothered.
Well, like public toilets, I'm not going to queue for public toilets. Hate that.
Yeah.
We love it. Oh, we love it. Like, if there's a queue, you're getting in it. It doesn't matter what it's for, you're getting in it.
Yeah. If I see a queue, I'm like, oh, what's that for? It's an interesting thing because, like, you'll see a queue and you'll get interested by it, and then you might queue up for it. For example, like Primark, when it first opened, but you see like a queue of people and you're thinking, what's that for? And then you realise it's just for Primark. But yeah, I think it's true. Yeah.
I mean, everyone hates it, but it's very normal. Like you see a queue and you're like, oh, it's outside a shop. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to join it.
It's not that we enjoy it. It's just we're good at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why do British call dinner tea?
I don't know. I can't really explain. No, it changes within Britain as well. Like southern people call it dinner, and then there's a lot of dynamics between the north and the south of Britain, and language changes between them.
Afternoon tea is basically sandwiches and tea and cake at really high prices.
It's not really in my culture, but I call it dinner, I call it tea. I think it's just a mix. But personally, I'm not really a fan of afternoon tea, and it's not really in my price range to do afternoon tea.
What advice would you give people who learn English to improve their language skills?
English can't just be one kind of thing. It changes consistently, and don't go by always the books. Follow the kind of culture as well, the cultural aspects. You'll hear different accents all across London. Don't always kind of follow what is perceived right.
I think conversation is important. Like with British people who use confusing sentences and don't follow the rules, because we don't follow the rules a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And that's part of it, really.
I'd say watch things that are popular. Like if there's a popular TV show or like a popular YouTuber and they're in English, it's really good it kind of helps you, like, because in a very structured like learning environment, like in classrooms and stuff, you learn like a very formal way of how to speak. Yeah. Whereas if you're watching something that's more day to day, you kind of get a firmer understanding of how people talk on like a more day to day basis.
It helps to just practice all the time, even when you're at home. That's the easiest way to learn because then you get used to it. So yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah, just practice all the time.
I'd say learn rhyming slang first and learn all the swear words first so you know what to avoid.
What traditional British dishes should visitors definitely try?
Fish and chips.
I was going to say fish and chips.
chips.
Yeah, what is British culture?
Fish and chips.
Not much. British food is so grim. I mean, fish and chips is one, but you can kind of get that anywhere. Full English breakfast is the main thing, I guess.
Bangers and mash, sausage and mash. You can't beat it with a bit of gravy. I love it. And then any kind of pie, if you can get a pucker pie from the local chippy fish and chip shop, they're always beautiful. So yeah.
Nice cake.
Yeah. Victoria sandwich is pretty solid.
That's
A roast dinner maybe, like on a Sunday lunch.
A roast
Yeah.
dinner.
I love
Like roast
But you
beef
can
and
obviously
Yorkshire pudding.
you can obviously get loads of cuisines here. So, and especially London, it's so multicultural. So
In London, probably street food, any kind of street food.
And do you think English is a difficult language?
I can't say because I struggle learning other languages, but there are times where I do find English quite difficult. So I can see, I'd say it is probably quite a difficult language to learn.
I think so. I think other languages, I know Arabic and Bengali. At least I had to read them, and it's like the way it's written is the way it's pronounced most of the time. With English, it's like it is very funny, written and read version.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to say because I was born and brought up speaking English. So, but I think it would be. I feel sorry for everyone else that has to learn.
Can you give us some examples of slangs that you use every day?
Oh no. Too much.
Everyone in London says bruv. Yes, bruv. Brother, bruv.
Okay, well, like crepes, I like wearing crepes right now. That means trainers.
Different regions definitely have their own
yeah,
slang.
I'm
so
northern, so I'm from the north,
Yeah.
and I'll say, well, we're both northern really, but I'll say something like, oh, that's well good, that's sick. That's not really lush.
Slang is very influenced by social media these days.
Yeah.
And a lot of British slang is rude.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah. We don't want to say it for YouTube.
There's definitely some London specific things like bait. I use it. That was just the first one that came to mind. Like that means don't, like if you say don't be bait, it's like don't be obvious. Like it's like, oh, turn around, there's someone hot there. It's like, no, don't be bait.
Don't be bait, don't be obvious.
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah.
I can't think of others right now.
Dragi prieteni, avem nevoie de încurajarea voastră pentru a continua acest proiect. Nu ezitați să vă abonați la canalul nostru, iar în comentarii ne puteți scrie ce alte subiecte ați dori să abordăm în videourile viitoare. Stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye!